Welcome to my speech. Stay quiet after disrespect, ladies and gentlemen. Life has its share of difficult people. That's not new. What matters most isn't what they say, it's what you do. One of the great disciplines of life is learning when to speak, and more importantly, when not to. There are moments, especially when someone disrespects you, that the first instinct is to react loudly, emotionally, sharply, but pause right there, because it's in that pause that wisdom lives. See, anyone can explode. That takes no skill. What takes skill is staying calm when chaos walks in. What takes character is not needing to have the last word. What takes power is choosing silence, not because you have nothing to say, but because you know not everything deserves a response. Disrespect is a reflection of their values, not yours. It's a glimpse into their world, not a measure of your worth. So don't let their noise pull you out of your peace. Here's the principle: don't match their behavior. Lead with yours, because the moment you lower yourself to their level, you leave the high ground you worked so hard to climb. And believe me, when you learn to stay quiet after disrespect, you're not avoiding confrontation, you're showing you've already won the inner battle. You've chosen not to be controlled by their words, but to stay anchored in your own standards. Remember, dignity isn't something you shout, it's something you carry. So next time someone crosses the line, breathe. Hold your fire, let your silence speak. Sometimes the strongest thing you can say is nothing at all. Let the noise pass, let your peace stay, and move forward stronger, quieter, and wiser. Self-control is often misunderstood in today's fast-paced world. Many see it as passivity, weakness, or suppression of emotion, but in reality, it's one of the greatest indicators of true inner strength. It is the silent power that governs actions, words, and thoughts when emotions want to take over. Self-control is what separates those who merely react to life from those who respond with purpose and wisdom. In moments of tension, anger, disrespect, or provocation, the instinctual urge is to fight back, to defend oneself, to strike where it hurts. But that's not strength, that's impulse, and impulse is common. Anyone can react. Children react, animals react, but self-control, that's maturity, that's restraint, that's leadership of the self. It's a discipline that must be cultivated with intention, and when mastered, it becomes one of the greatest advantages a person can have. Strength is often displayed through silence. It's easy to raise your voice, but harder to hold your tongue. It's easy to post a snide remark, but harder to take a breath and move on. It's easy to seek revenge, but harder to choose peace. The ability to remain composed when you've been provoked reveals far more power than any aggressive outburst ever could. Because self-control means you're no longer a slave to other people's behavior, you've risen above it. When you have self-control, you are not letting circumstances decide your state of mind. You're not letting other people push buttons and pull strings that turn you into someone you are not proud of. You're grounded. You understand that every reaction is a choice, and that your energy is too valuable to be wasted on drama, disrespect, or petty disputes. You've decided that your character is not up for auction every time someone tests you. It takes tremendous strength to hold yourself back when your ego wants to take center stage. That's the battleground between the temporary satisfaction of retaliation and the long-term reward of peace. The world praises those who speak quickly, fight loudly, and never back down. But true power lies in those who can listen quietly, stand calmly, and walk away gracefully when necessary. They're not running from the fight. They're walking in wisdom. That's not weakness. That's strength with vision. Self-control allows you to protect your integrity. Anyone can win an argument by being louder, but few can walk away without losing self-respect. When you choose to restrain your reaction, you're preserving something far more valuable than pride. You're preserving peace of mind, and peace is priceless. It doesn't mean you're letting people walk over you. It means you're choosing to rise above the mud they're throwing, keeping your clothes clean when others are covered in their own mess. In situations where others disrespect you, self-control empowers you to make decisions from clarity instead of chaos. When emotions flare, judgment fades, but with self-control, you see through the moment and think through the consequences. You realize not every insult deserves an audience, not every attack requires a response, and not every battle is worth fighting. You don't engage every fire. Sometimes the strongest move is letting it burn out without feeding it more fuel. Self-control is the discipline of kings, leaders, and wise people throughout history. They knew that the one who can govern himself can govern anything else. Whether it's controlling your tongue, managing your anger, resisting temptation, or staying patient in delay, every act of self-control is a victory over the self, and every victory strengthens your character. People may not notice your silence, your pause, your decision to walk away from conflict, but the fruit of those decisions grows quietly. Self-respect deepens, peace becomes your normal, and trust in yourself expands. Because you now know that you are not driven by impulses, but guided by principles. That's what strength really looks like. In a world full of noise, reaction, and attention seeking behavior, the one who can remain composed stands out. The one who can absorb an insult and still walk in kindness has a rare power. The one who can pause when provoked has already won. Self-control is not about denying feelings. It's about not letting them dictate your actions. It's knowing what you feel but choosing what you do, and that choice is your true strength. When someone disrespects you, lies about you, or tries to provoke you, the natural impulse is to react, to strike back, defend yourself, or return insult for insult. But there's a timeless truth that separates those who live by impulse from those who live by principle. Your response reflects your character, not theirs. In moments of conflict or offense, what you choose to do next doesn't reveal who they are. It reveals who you are. Your character is on display not in calm situations, but in the storm. It's not tested when everything is going well, but when you're being tested by someone else's words or actions. Every time you respond, you're sending a message about the kind of person you've chosen to be. You may not control what others say, but you always control how you handle it. You don't get to rewrite their behavior, but you get to write your own response. That's where the power lies. You can be pulled into their dysfunction, or you can rise with dignity. You can match their chaos, or you can show calm. You can return their disrespect, or you can reflect your values instead. And that choice builds or breaks your character. It's easy to let emotions lead, especially in moments of hurt. But just because you've been wronged doesn't mean you must act wrongly. Responding with the same negativity doesn't make you strong. It makes you the same. And being the same as those who hurt you doesn't honor your growth, your self-respect, or your future. Character is not about winning arguments or getting revenge. It's about maintaining integrity regardless of how you're treated. In life, people will mistreat you, some out of ignorance, some out of pain, some simply because they can. But if your peace depends on their behavior, you've handed them control over your spirit. Your character must be stronger than their offense. Because if every time someone treats you poorly you respond in kind, you're letting them shape you into something smaller. But if you respond with patience, restraint, or silence, you're holding the pen and writing your story with intention. There's a principle that wise people live by. Never allow someone else's poor behavior to become an excuse for your own. The moment you say, "They made me do it," you've given away your freedom. You've surrendered yourself mastery. True strength is measured not in how you react to kindness, but in how you respond to cruelty. And the person who can stay kind, calm, or composed in the face of adversity carries a strength not easily shaken. Sometimes people act in ways that are unfair, unjust, or unkind, but those moments are opportunities. not for retaliation, but for reflection. How do you want to be remembered, as someone who stooped to their level or someone who rose above? The answer to that shapes your reputation, your relationships, and even your self-worth. Your reactions are seeds. What you plant today, you harvest tomorrow. If you plant anger, you harvest regret. If you plant grace, you harvest peace. It's also worth remembering that your response becomes a lesson to others watching. Whether it's your children, your friends, your team, or someone you may never even know, people take note. They may not hear the insult that was thrown at you, but they'll remember how you handled it. And when they face their own moment of disrespect, they might find the courage to do the same because of your example. Responding with character doesn't mean being passive or weak. It means choosing the higher road, even when it's harder. It means knowing that your values are not up for negotiation just because someone else abandoned theirs. It means protecting your inner peace like it's treasure, because it is. And when you respond from that place of strength and clarity, you protect not just your dignity, but your destiny. The world has more than enough people reacting out of anger, pride, and ego, but it needs more people responding with humility, patience, and principle. It needs more people who understand that every response is a mirror not of the offender's heart, but of their own. And once you grasp that, you begin to live differently. You stop letting others dictate your mood. You stop letting petty things steal your energy. You stop lowering yourself just to prove a point that doesn't need to be proven. Because the greatest point you can prove is that you are in control of yourself, that no one owns your reactions but you, that you've matured beyond needing to have the last word, that your character is not for sale, that your peace isn't up for debate, and that your response, quiet and measured, speaks louder than any insult ever could.